share some of our ideas with you. We are called Terra Solutions. I'm here with my teammates Ian, Yishi, Matt, and I am Tennille. And we want to present a program called Call of the Wild. And it has two components in the program and three in terms of processing it. And so those are the outreach component, which Matt will be talking about in a moment, and then an app. And then thirdly, we want to take technology into the parks. So we'll talk a little bit about that as well. Just some background in terms of how we worked through the issues and what we thought was important. Our entire design theory was connecting people to place. It seemed very apparent to us through the talk that we had on Wednesday from some of your colleagues, and also from my experiences living in Ottawa, that there is a lack of accessibility in a lot of ways. So we want to use tech in terms of an online presence, but also we want to use non-field communication technology, so basically microchips in the park, to get people to the physical experience of nature. And a second guiding design theory listed on the slide there is consolidation of information. So we feel that there is a lot of information around Ottawa about the parks and about the city and about transport, but it's scattered in terms of PDF information that's on websites, in terms of public information that's available through OC Transfer, for example. And so a lot of what we were talking about and working through was creating an app and a program which could consolidate these information points and tap into other people's knowledge. And as a side point, that would help us avoid some of the issues around copyright and IP and licensing. So pass it over to my teammate.
And to add on to the consolidation part, one of the two things that we had about our app is we're not going to build the next Facebook app, we're not going to build the next Google Maps. In fact, we're going to use those existing popular platforms and integrate them into your app. So when you're trying to get to the park or find information on the park, you can just upload all of the data to Google Maps and have that as the primary, or whatever the native navigation app is on the phone. Additionally, we don't have a if you build it they will come type of approach to technology. So you can make a really cool app, you can make a really cool website, but if nobody knows about it or it's not interesting or motivating enough to get somebody to use it, we want to make sure that it is personalizable enough and intriguing enough to get people to want to come. All right. Oh yeah. Which comes to the primary goal, which we thought generally you want to get people to come to the parks, right? You want them to enjoy the nature that Ottawa has to offer. And additionally, there's that fine balance between, well, if I'm going to a park, I don't necessarily want to stare at my phone. Maybe I want to enjoy the trees. Maybe I want to see a duck or a bear attack, something like that. Right, so that's why one of the primary and the linchpin of our presentation is this use of directed marketing, or finding people around or interested in these types of events and using them and social networks to advertise themselves and get people to come to the parks. And then through using events to kind of further promote this and the idea of gamifying it and making it an experience through technology, if they'd like, to further incentivize people to actually use the resources that you might put out there and motivate people to even generate own content. That way Ottawa isn't responsible for generating it all. So, another little stereotype names here. We got Mountain Steve, and we got Kayla, who's friends with Kayla Kayaker, let's say on Twitter or on Facebook, right? So our directed marketing technique would be something, let's leverage these existing social media tech platforms and use a social network analysis and get their friends to realize what they're doing. Oh, Kayla just went kayaking in a park in Ottawa. She posted a bunch of pictures geotagged in the park, and now you can use those and share them with other people and kind of leverage this chameleon effect, this idea, oh, I saw Kayla do it, now I kind of want to try it. And anecdotally, I follow my own social media account and do this sort of monitoring, and I had a friend that went to Sonoma Valley, Arizona a few weeks ago, After that, I started seeing a few other people that went to Sonoma Valley, Arizona. And just last week, I went to Sonoma Valley, Arizona. And I gotta admit, that was a factor in my decision, is seeing all my other friends and their pictures and their events. So that kind of, you can put that information and those experiences directly in the hand through geotagged social media and directed marketing.
So moving on from the raising awareness portion of our project, we're going to talk a little bit about the app design. So the app essentially has two key ideas behind it. The first is we want to get users to the parks, and then we also want to inform them what are the sort of things that they can do in these areas. So the home screen is on the PowerPoint that you can see right now, and I'm just going to walk you through some of the usability features of the app. So the first part is arriving where you want to go. So first, users can search based on either a place or activity. They might not know which park they want to go to at first. They maybe only wake up and say, no, I want to go hiking today, or I want to go kayaking today. So I'm just going to search, and I'm going to see what parks offer kayaking, or whatever activity that I want. So they can search in the search bar for either a place or activity, and it'll take them to a screen that lists all the places, natural areas that have that activity that they want to go for. But there may be other cases where they know they have a park in mind that they want to go to. Maybe they haven't been there before and they want to explore it. They can search for the place too, and it'll take them right to the place page, which has all the information that they would need, the hours, the contact, any rental infos if they need to rent, say, a kayak or something like that, pictures that have been uploaded by either the city or other users, interactive park maps, and then smart park e-tours, which we're going to get to in a little bit. And then there's also a Get There feature, so that kind of plugs into the Google Maps aspect, where you don't necessarily know how to get there, so you can specify whether you're walking, you're biking, or you're driving, and then it'll take you from your current location to that place that has the activity that you want to do. So, do you want to talk about the smart parks, or do you want me to? All right, so I'll tell you a little bit about smart parks. So one of the ideas that we had was there's the availability of cheap and configurable arrays, sensor arrays that can hook up to your phone can connect to through its Bluetooth capabilities and its GPS capabilities, and you can use those sensors to provide interactive information content about the park that they're in. So maybe this park that they're in has a lot of history to it. There's a lot that's gone on in the past before, and rather than having to pay tour guides to take people around at a set amount of time, you have these sensors that they can connect to with their phone whenever they want, whenever they're there on their own time, and they can get that same information through their phone, through their device, and they can get that experience without having, with the flexibility.
You can also collect data of people coming in and out of the parks for planning, resource allocation, and use that in annual reporting and budget justifications and things. So the other thing about, you can build it, but people might not necessarily come, is applying the theory of gamification, or making things, yes, I can go hiking, but well, now if I use these sensor arrays and these interactive games to make it an event and an experience that I can either enjoy on my own or connect with people through technology, so in the park and with nature. So basically we thought of a game that Yishi's going to present that could be used to get people to come to the park, which is really popular in other areas, but it may work here. And a couple other examples is you could use these crowd games like a geocaching litter pickup, where teams go out and try to pick up the most litter or something like that, or bird count inventory scrambles, where teams have to go out and find the most kinds of birds in a limited period of time. And these all could be integrated with the technology. So the actual game.
So in our mobile app prototype, we're going to demo the Photometric Game, which is defined as users recreate an example of selfie by finding the place and matching the theme, which is proposed by City of Ottawa. Here we have 3 examples on the right. So for example, City of Ottawa will have to post a picture of a person canoeing at a certain place, and participants will need to find that exact place and then take a selfie and share it on social network, which will eventually be linked to our app. So this is the wireframe of the app. Before participating in the game, the users can see the photo map, which shows what pictures have been uploaded before. And as we're using Instagram API, we have the option to filter the images by location and tags. And when the user tap on one of the images, they have the option to like it. The number of likes can eventually be used as one of the criteria to see or to decide who's the winner of the contest. And when the user hit play, it's gonna take them to log into Instagram. In order to participate in the game, they have to use an Instagram account. But just to see the pictures, they don't need any social network account, and they can also upload their pictures. But it's just not going to be an entry of the game.
So we need to wrap it up there. We've got some considerations just in terms of for any gamification. We spoke about photo matching. So for a photo matching game, there would need to be a system of figuring out a winner, and that would be true for any game. And then secondly, future iterations, Call of the Wild 2.0, we might be getting a bit ahead of ourselves, but we just wanted to point to the fact that we're not proposing, as was said at the beginning, we're not proposing creating new social media tools. We're proposing tapping into the existing information and social media tools. So that's it. We'll leave it there.